because this plays very similar to a 4-3-2-1, but it offers more of a defensive compactness at the back because you have two dedicated central defensive midfielders, not centre mids that you're telling to stay back. The 4-2-3-1 is a force to be reckoned with in FC24 that offers great defensive stability and lots of attacking potential when set up correctly. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the best 4-2-3-1 custom tactics, and then I'll show you some gameplay as well to show you how to get the most out of the formation. Let's get into it. Kicking things off with the defensive style, we're going to run this on balanced, defensive width 34, and then the depth on 62. 62 is a really nice sweet spot to be able to press but not be too overly committed, and then the width, because you've got two centre defensive midfielders and the back four, just kind of keeping it all compact really makes it difficult for the opponent to break down. So just keeping it compact is really key in this formation. As far as the build-up play goes, that's balance, chance creation, direct passing. We're really aiming for a meta set of tactics here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Balance, direct passing is still the key to having the most success in your games, as good as some of the alternatives are. Offensive width is 32, so narrow again. I really wanted to play a quick passing game, kind of emulate the 4-3-2-1 style with a bit more of a defensive robustness at the back. 32 width kind of matches what is normally like a 45 width in a 4-3-2-1, so 32 is a sweet spot for this formation. Players in the box, we're going to be running it on 6. It's just a safe number and works really well. And then corners and free kicks, just go with whatever your personal preference is. Getting into the player instructions, starting with our striker, they are going to be on stay central, stay forward, always there on the defensive line. Stay central because we've got dedicated wide players. We don't want them drifting out to the wide areas at all. Attacking runs, you can go with getting behind, but because we have a cam in this formation, I really like the ability to kind of play 1-2s with them. If your striker's always running away, doesn't always work the best. Plus, at this point in the game, you've probably all got strikers with really good AI that just make runs at a good time. So I just go stay central, stay forward. I find Eusebio is always making good runs, so I don't feel the need to force it. With the cam, they are just stay forward, just so you've always got them in the middle. If you have them on comeback on defense or anything like that, they do have the tendency to drift sort of out to wider positions. So stay forward is mainly just to keep the cam in the middle, and obviously you've then got two outballs then with your striker and your cam. Just ensure at the cam you've got someone that's very good on the ball. 5-star weak foot helps, and if you're a skiller, obviously aim for the skills as well. But I think the weak foot's the most key one here, just so they're just as reliable distributing the ball out both sides, or whether they're threading it through the middle. For the left cam and the right cam, they are both just come back on defense. That's just to help a little bit with getting players back when we are off of the ball. I don't have any other instructions on them. I just trust their AI again, and for me to just trigger their runs when I want them to move. I kind of like trusting my players in a formation like this. I don't like kind of forcing a particular style too much. It is something that can be really free-flowing and play really nice if you've just got players that you like and you just kind of trust them to do what they need to do. On the right side, just make sure you've got someone that's an excellent finisher, because with the way we're formatting this, a lot of your attacks are going to be starting on the left and coming across to the right. So have someone that's formidable on goal there. On the left side, someone a little bit more creative. I've got Frank Ribery. And then also make sure your left-sided player has a finesse shot threat. So a right-footed finesse shot threat, just because we will be committing our left back forward, which we'll get to shortly. So having the option to just knock it back to that left cam and then whip one rather than working the ball into the box is a great second option to have to give the opponent multiple looks, but it's also just another great route to goal as well. So left cam, creative and finesse shot threat. Right cam, just a great goal scorer. Literally, you could basically play a striker here, but I would also just aim for one that is a bit more creative on the ball. So like a Ham, an R9 and an Mbappe, like they're the obvious names, but even like a Rashford, for example, would be better here than like a Grealish. Getting into our central defensive midfielders, they are both cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, cover centres. That is on both of them. Out and out DM on one side, your more creative DM on the other side. I recommend playing your more creative DM on the left, just because, like I said earlier, our attacks generally are going to be sort of made from the left-hand side as we work the ball across. Then on the right-hand side, just have your more defensively robust one. We are going to put them both on stay back, though, because we are committing our left back. So we're going to have a fifth man or a fifth woman, an overload via our left back, so we don't need it from the midfield. In theory, you could put this one on balance, the one on the left, but I just don't find it necessary. They get involved enough, and the wing back just creates that overload that you need. And also, when you have them both and stay back, you've always got two options on the edge of the box as well. So whenever you're working the ball, there's always a pass on the left to drop it back. There's always a pass on the right to drop it back. If you have one of them on balance, they're going to commit into the box. So say we had our left centre mid on balance, they've committed into the box. We've got no pass back when we're on the left, and we might be forced to drive it to the byline. It just basically means there's one obvious route to goal for your opponent to read. So by having someone on the edge of the box, but also the ability to drive the byline, you've then got two options. They've got to work out, is he going to cut it back? Is he going to drive the byline? It's harder to defend. For your left back, so they're balanced overlap, as I sort of alluded to earlier. You want someone that feels very good on the ball, is very fast, has excellent stamina, relentless is ideal. Someone like Rolfer is absolutely fantastic. The likes of Flashback Davies is excellent, but he does have the tendency to tire after about 80 minutes, so bear that in mind. But go with the left back. That's a great tank, really good passing, really good pace, and generally isn't high-low. If you can get someone that is more like high-high, they're going to get back better. So just aim for that as well. High-low is quite common on the left backs that are good going forward, but if you have Rolfer, just hands down use her. She's phenomenal there. Your right back is just stay back while attacking. A more defensive right back here is perfect. So like a Cafu, which is what I'm using, a Kyle Walker, someone of that nature is going to be absolutely perfect. And the centre-backs and goalkeeper are all just the default. Centre-backs go for fast, lengthy, tall. Aerial plus is great on one of them just to defend any of the aerial plus threats that your opponent might use, but also for corners as well. And then for your goalkeeper, completely default, but go with whoever you trust. So over the next minute or two, just pay close attention to the goals before you run off and go and try the tactics. Really get a feel for how I'm utilising the passing angles that sort of open themselves up with this formation to actually get in on goal. Because this plays very similar to a 4-3-2-1, but it offers more of a defensive compactness at the back because you have two dedicated central defensive midfielders, not centre mids that you're telling to stay back. And then also when your wing-back overlaps, where players are for the passes are slightly different. It's not like a line of three. You've got sort of a line of two, but a straight line of two. But then you've also got the DMs that do tuck into the box as well. You've obviously got your cams that you can drop it back to, which are great for the finesse shot threat. You've got someone dedicated to going in on the back post that you can whip the ball into. There's lots of options that this formation offers, but a lot of it does come from that left back. And I will point out, if you do struggle to defend, you can run the left back on stay back overlap if you want to, and they will still commit sometimes, and you can get away with that. But by putting it on balanced overlap, you know they're always going to kind of be there as your fifth person at overloading the attack and actually helping you have that spare man in the box. Now, when you're up against a 5-back, you will have to start utilising those central defensive midfielders that tuck into the edge of the box just to help create that overload against an extra defender, but against 4-backs in particular, which most people are running this year because obviously pro players are banned from using 3 and 5-backs, so most people following meta tactics are basically following what pros do, and they're all using 4s because that's what they're forced to do. So luckily most good players are using 4-backs anyway, just because they're kind of emulating what the pro players do, which this formation will basically destroy with ease because you're putting 5 men up against 4 at the back. Now with that left back, just make sure you're not getting too obsessed with forcing it to them. Just know they're always there, utilise them to create the overload. If you're on the right, don't feel like, oh, I have to work it over to the left first. By all means, start on the right. If you have an attack sort of developing on the right, work it across. And sometimes it can even be your left back that gets in on goal. And if you've got someone that is capable going forward with decent shooting stats, you're still not going to miss out on those chances either. But overall, this formation is kind of for those that are looking for something very meta, but just want something that offers a little bit more defensive stability than the 4-3-2-1 does. I'm currently using this as my option with a 4-3-2-1. So if I feel like I really need to go at someone, I can use the 4-3-2-1. If I feel like I'm getting opened up with the 4-3-2-1, I can utilize this, which gives the same sort of attacking prowess, but it definitely offers a bit more defensive stability because your centre mids naturally are sat in the middle the whole time. They're not adjusting once you lose the ball, and they're also just naturally sat a little bit deeper as well. So they're there to cut up the play just that bit easier than what a 4-3-2-1 offers. Hope you guys enjoy the formation. Let me know down below how you do get on with it. But as always, guys, if you did make it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn your bell on. Take care, guys.